Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, Godforge Demo 2.0 from Fateless. I did watch it already. There's not a ton new in here, but we'll still go over it, give it a little look-see.
Hey guys, this is Simon from Fateless. We're going to be bringing you Demo 2.0. What does that mean? So basically, we've had a number of big investment type conversations over the last month or so since Gamescom, and as part of those conversations, you kind of go through a pitch deck. You know, these are all the things that we're going to be doing in our game. This is what we stand for as a company. This is what we're driving for over the next 5 years. All that type of stuff.
I did think this was a little bit interesting because I was under the impression they already had substantial funding for this game. They obviously have something based on what we've seen so far. You know, this isn't some thrown together thing where you're paying people piecemealing out jobs to build some type of demo. You know, this is real skill we've seen so far. So it is interesting that he said that they're building this to be more of a showcase for investors. Sorry, I had a little bit of brain fart there, couldn't remember the word. But yeah, it makes me wonder how much capital they have and how long they can keep going right now at the rate they're going. If they don't get more, you know, will we see an abbreviated version of the game? If they don't, if they get more, will it be much more expanded? You know, what does that mean for the long-term future? Not that I wish them ill. I definitely hope it succeeds, especially based on all the raid content creators and players involved in it. You know, there's going to be, I don't want to say better mechanics, but the mechanics will be, it'll be similar to Raid, I believe, but it'll be adjusted enough that free to play might not feel as bad. We'll have to wait and see, but that's kind of what I'm hoping. But anyways, let's continue.
But then if you get through that stage, they say, well, now we need you to send us a build. So it's like, can you guys actually design
Like that guy
something
right
cool?
there.
But then
Looks like a big baddie. I don't know if that's a hero or a boss,
and,
but looks
and deliver
good.
an actual game. So what we've done is we've built for those businesses, those kind of groups that are looking for that stage. We've built Demo 2.0, and what this does is it really acts as a bit of a roadmap for the game as well. So not just the kind of demo that we've shown you so far, it also gives you some of the features that we're looking to build over the next bit of time. So before we even get into anything, we give these people the teaser, okay, around some of the combat and some of the character designs we've already done, which still feels pretty sweet.
Looks nice, like that skill. The lightning.
And there will be stuff in this video you've seen before if you've been watching along, but also
like
some stuff
falling
that
in
might
the
be
background.
new to you in terms of what we're doing
Skeletor.
with the project.
Just kidding. I did like this guy. I don't know
cool.
if I saw one before. You kind of power up through the
Shamash
staff,
staring us down,
blast it
and
out.
then we get the kind of reveal. And this is kind of like the intro. Give someone that real kind of feeling of, cool, all right. These guys have got something good going on. Also tells people the different devices we're looking to launch with, which is important as well from, you know, assessing us type of point of view. Okay, let's get in. Now,
He's going to talk about this, how it's unfinished on purpose. But I will say that I like the initial ad. I'm okay with the town. Or not necessarily town, but a landscape type situation. What I do not like is when you click on one, that it's almost another landscape and not more logically laid out. He'll show that. I don't know if these are placeholders. I would prefer that it's more laid out that like that. A game I still play casually is a Marvel Future Fight. And its menus are like that. You kind of hit enter and you go in and there's tabs, and then within the tabs there's just different blocks and you click on what you want. I like that much more than landscape after landscape, you know, it's fine. You go into the first screen, you have this, you know, beautiful expanse that you're looking at. I'm down with that. I should mention too, part of the reason Strike Force is the way it is because it's at least 7 years old, if not 8. I can't remember at this point. So its graphics are fairly dated, which is why it's built the way it's built. You know, it's based on the engine. This is obviously much newer, but I'm okay with this being the initial screen, and then we'll see the subsequent screens when you click on something.
The advice we were given is really important at this stage. Listen up, people. The advice we were given is, if it's not finished, make sure it looks very unfinished. So, and that's called white boxing in this type of world. So, a bit like this screen here. It's not finished, therefore don't try and put something in which looks nearly done, because they'd be like, oh, that's done, and it looks kind of crap. You're better off putting something very white box in so that people understand it's not finished yet. It's just...
I will say too, I didn't notice this before. I did notice the events and tourneys you see right here, not tournaments. We obviously know what those are, but that it does have the index and heroes and missions down here. I would actually be okay if those didn't change that much. I don't think those need to be super fancy. I do like this here. It's obviously a placeholder for, well, we'll see. I'll spoil it for you guys a little bit. This is kind of where you summon. He doesn't show us all of it, and I'll talk about that when he gets to it, but yeah, I'd be okay with these being rather simple and then kind of have this look nicer.
It's just like temporary assets. The way we've done the demo 2.0 for the people that are testing is we're forcing them somewhere. So I'm clicking here, nothing's working. I'm railroading them in to a direction so that they just very quickly get an understanding of, for us, we wanted to get an understanding of battle. So we take them into the battle first. We've got some...
See, this is what I was talking about. I actually like this. When you go into an area and it's just very simple, click here, click here, click here. There's not another, you know, area essentially to navigate in terms of, it's not laid out linearly, man, I can't say it, linearly, you know what I'm saying, in a straight line. Or it could even be, you know, some horizontal layout too, so it's, you know, more of a checkered pattern. So if you had, you know, 8 boxes, essentially cut this in half. But I like a simplistic design like this, you know, go where you want quickly. And what they haven't shown, or I'll keep an eye out, I don't think I noticed, but I would like to, a button that essentially just gets you back to the main area, if that's possible.
Different elements of the game. This is, again, not how it will look, but we're just giving people a feel. And in here, I can't go into any of the other areas apart from campaign, which I'm like railroading, but I can click and just be like, okay, well, what does this mean in the game? So, okay, we're going to have a clan boss. We're going to have different difficulties.
Oh, I'm going to go back for a second. I didn't notice that said the Titan Kronos there. Coordinate with your clan members to strike down the Titan Kronos. Okay. I don't know if that's been revealed before, that that's the clan boss. That's cool. Climb over 5 difficulties. Okay, so like, you know, easy, medium, hard. 2 more, whatever. But yeah, maybe a little reveal there. The Titan Kronos could be the clan boss. Hopefully that's not a placeholder. That'd be cool. I'd have to look it up. Actually, I will look it up real quick. I think Kronos is the father of Zeus. Greek mythology, Kronos was the son of, can't pronounce that, one of 12 titans. No, not father, children. Bear with me here, let's see. Yeah, Zeus, Hades, that's what I thought. So interesting that you can play as his children and kill him. Wonder if that'll play in it all. If you play as his children, maybe get some type of secret buff or debuff. Or, well, I won't say. He talks about something, and I wonder if it's related to that. I'll bring it back up when he talks about it.
We're going to have a clan boss. We're going to have different difficulties. We're going to have arena gameplay.
All right. PvP combat battlefield. Okay. Interesting. We see 5 there, front and back row. That could just be placeholder too. Skill matters. Challenge all and normalize PvP. That's cool. I do know some of the guys, part of the team, Brad, aka Chosen, Sham, and Dirk did some streams where they played AFK Journey in their normalized PvP, and they really enjoyed it, so maybe that's where they got the idea. I didn't play AFK Journey a ton. I did play it a little bit. I did like that mode because it is... at the beginning, it's still easy. If you have more power, you win. But once you climb the ladder, there is more skill involved instead of just having a straight better champion. Like say in Raid, it's like, you know, you have certain champions with certain skills. Okay, you both have similar setups. You go in, this one team either does or doesn't have stone skin, even though that's, you know, there's ways around that now. It's still important for some champs. So it's like, you know, if you go in, as soon as you see the setup and you see, oh, they have stone skin, you know you lost, right? It doesn't matter. You could play manually, play auto. You're probably going to lose. Whereas when it normalizes, even at higher levels, you don't necessarily know you lost already. I do think I remember, though, for AFK Journey, that it's automated. You sort of choose your heroes. You can get some gear that helps with skills that can do certain things, you know, strengthen them, and then you pick your position on the battlefield, and that seems to be one of the biggest factors in determining whether or not you're going to win. So I don't know if they're going to do something like that here. So you can get fairly high up in ranking, I think, with not a high skill level in AFK Journey Arena. But to get to the very top, you do have to be more aware of the idiosyncrasies. So it is still high skill level at the very top. So I assume they'd be trying to implement something like that here.
Including like normalized modes and sort of some ladder-based arena gameplay. We're going to have dungeons to fight.
Alright, over 9 dungeons. That'll probably be, you know, get some gear, vanquish dragons, giants, guardians and gods, retrieve countless treasures, trinkets, and gold. Okay.
And again, just some assets of things which we've got as like concept in or finished 3D assets. Stuff you'd expect, but then we're kind of railroading them into...
He didn't say anything about this, but I was thinking about this when I first watched it. The tourneys, aka tournaments, you know, they're pretty standard in any gacha type game. I would like to see them change that up somehow, and I was thinking, what if there was an item you could get, I don't know, you win a tournament, or, no, not win a tournament, maybe, sorry, not tournaments. I wouldn't do this for tournaments. I would do this for events, right? Because it's essentially a solo tournament in a way. You have to get so many points. What if there was an item so you could win a tournament, or if you won a tournament or placed in the top 3, I don't know, you get a scroll, let's say, I don't know what you want to call it. You open this scroll and it lasts, I don't know, a couple hours, 12 hours, 24, but it changes the event points multiplier. So that way you could finish an event quicker if, say, you got a good roll. Let's say you open it and you get a 3x point. So, you know, you get some item, it gives you 60 points. You now get 180 points. So you can finish that event quicker. And I don't think if they did that, you should be allowed to buy that item. It should be random how you get it. I don't know how. And it should only be for events. That is sort of... because it's not... if you can't buy it, It's not buying power, because obviously if you finish events quicker, you can get resources quicker. But I just thought something like that could be cool. If anyone has ever seen anything like that in a game, or oops, sorry about that notification, should have muted my phone, or would be interested in something like that, let me know down below.
The campaign, and again here, very grey box, but just giving people a flavour of what we're doing. And then we take people into, I love this little pan over here, we take people into this kind of like demo stage that already exists. So none of this is clickable, none of it's built yet, but we're basically...
Okay, I didn't notice this before, I did miss this, but you know, you get all the stars, you get some events. What's this at the end? I do know. I bet you can guess, but we'll wait for him to show us. It is weird too that I wonder if this is accurate too. So it says 21 out of 21. I could scroll back and try and count them manually, because he didn't 3-star everything. So maybe you can get all the rewards without 3-starring everything. That'd be kind of interesting. Let's go back actually, see if... So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
I love this little pan.
Huh. Okay, so obviously that's kind of just a placeholder thing for now.
And over here, we take people into this kind of like demo stage that already exists. So none of this is clickable, none of it's built yet, but we're basically we're taking people into the demo that we built for Gamescom, and then they can just see gameplay. They can sort of play around with the...
So I did notice this too. Enter reliquary. That's essentially the little secret hidden area within the level. And then you see the different ways how you get these stars. We'll see when he plays, he chooses to go into it. But to me, this looks selected. So I don't know if that's just a visual thing. I would hope if we have it selected, it wouldn't ask us when we're actually in the level, yes, I want to go into this. It would just automatically go into it. You would choose it here when you start. So say if you're doing multiple runs. I know they said they don't want to make it as grindy as Raid to get stuff, but there's going to be some type of grind no matter what. Even if they do it in terms of kind of like a game like Marvel Strike Force, where you only have so many runs you can do a day on a stage unless you refresh it. I believe you can refresh it. I quit that game a couple years ago. I did like it a lot, but I quit it a couple years ago, so I can't remember if you can refresh a stage or not. I believe you can. So I wonder if they'll have some type of mechanic like that to help eliminate some of the grindiness.
The game mode, again, we're forcing the heroes that you've got to play with, and this is, if you watch the demo, you've already seen this.
We will see too, I'll just say real quick and let it play. We essentially do have 2 turn meters. I don't know if that's going to be in the final game, or maybe you can turn one or the other off. I'm okay with either. I might actually leave both on. I do like this. Haven't seen that in a game like this other than King Arthur's Legends. Is it plural? I think it's a Legends Rise, but who knows what's going on with that game. They said they weren't going to wipe it after the last test. They did wipe it. It's been pretty much radio silent, so who knows if that game is ever even going to come out.
But here they can kind of like see what people's abilities do, and we can just get the gameplay rolling. So they can either go on auto and like 2 times, or they can just let it run.
Oh, I didn't notice
or they
that.
can like click
the little like slicing from Musashi. Let me see if I can go back again.
You can just get the gameplay rolling. So they
Not
can either
this.
go on auto and like 2 times, or they can just let it run.
Okay.
Or they can like click
Like
around
that
and play
too.
themselves. We've got the turn order in here.
See, this is what I was talking about. I hope you don't have to click that little blue box and then click this again. That would be kind of annoying.
Do we want to fight in the reliquary? Yes, we do. That's where we get our juicy loot. And it's just been optimized a bit better for PC. I'm playing on PC right now, so the the visuals a bit better. But we've not touched at the moment any of the camera stuff, any of the animations, any of that stuff. It's still exactly the same as what we showed in Gamescom. So if there was any bugs or anything which didn't feel quite right, it's still not going to feel quite right. Nothing's really changed in that sense.
I do like that he's saying that, because realistically, if you've seen alpha footage for games before, this is actually very good. I know it's only a mobile game and they're only showcasing one level, but it is very good for what it is so far. So I do have high hopes, but I'm tempering those because, I mean, honestly, as great as these guys are, as much as I want them to succeed, they are new developers. They could fail and this game could never come out. That's just reality. I hope it doesn't happen, but it could.
All we were doing is basically bringing people now into the rest of what the game would feel like. There's the Zeusol laying down Leonidas. And we've got Musashi coming in. Herc does his ult to power up and then gives her a whack. And she's bugged, so she's buffing my team instead of her team. We come up against the Ramses fight. Zeus laying in tons of damage, honestly. Herc doing a bit as well. And we find the final fight is against Anubis. Again, doing a decent amount of damage against us here. But not enough because we're on the demo and we're trying to force people to win. So Herc coming in with a smack. Gets a stun off as well. Oh, wow. That's a massive hit from Brunhild there. Okay.
The mists of
And then we want to give people a sense of, okay, well, what does an end of campaign, like Parallax cutscene look like for us? Again, I don't want to show too much of this because I'm saving it for people that actually get into the beta and play it there, but...
Yep, don't miss the beta.
Across these cracks, like a greed-flavored soup, spew forth the...
I'm not saying I dislike this, but this person looks very much like, I don't know, an Irish or an English peasant dropping their potatoes being attacked by a mummy. Just an observation.
Those that want more glory, more power,
It's pretty cool, though.
simply just more. We need an understanding of what the world...
King Arthur?
Anyway,
Maybe.
not to show all of it because then it ruins all the...
There's a blue thing again. You can probably guess what that is. This is interesting, this too, like, I assume this is the equipment you're actually getting, the helm. And it's interesting, it says plus 16. So you can win already leveled up equipment. I'm not sure about that, or maybe they've got rid of it, the star system on things that aren't legendary, because if you remember the other demo they showed, it had a sword and it had stars and it said +1, I believe. So an unleveled up sword, maybe it's only for I forget what they call it, but they have a special name for the weapons that's, if it's not just the typical slotted item, it's unique or something. I don't remember what they called it. So I wonder if you're farming essentially leveled up gear. That's interesting. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And then obviously the Divine Pass, they got to make money somehow. Premium currency probably right there.
The storyline and stuff like that in game, but we get our reward. And then again, I'm not letting people do anything other than now go to the Sanctum. Okay, so again, we're railroading the people that are analyzing our build in a certain direction. Can't click anything else. So we come back to the Sanctum, and now we're forcing people into the Godforge.
I wonder too if that's going to be standard. You see the blue right there, if that's just a placeholder. If it'll show your highest level gem shard, whatever they're calling these. I like the idea of it. I think one way they can change, Raid always shows your highest level. If they had a box like this and you could break it up into colors, and each color, obviously, let's say you have green, blue, purple, gold, yellow, whatever. You couldn't really have a number there. That'd probably be too confusing. over the word God or underneath the word Godforge, but maybe you have it at different levels. So if you had the most greens, green would be full, and then say blue is your second, or let's say blue's third, so then it's down here, and then your purple's epics is up here, and then you have almost no, kind of just a visual graph showing you what you have the most of, even if you don't have a number.
There's going to be some stuff that I've got to censor here because it's too much information already. But there are different areas that...
So you can see there's, besides summon, there's 3 different areas. I'm going to assume one of them is some type of, if they want to call it fusion or building a champion, one of these is probably related to that. I don't know what the others could be. Maybe there's some type of, could be cool if you'd say you got like, I don't know, 1,000 green ones. You go to, it is called Godforge. Go to a forge, put in 1,000 green ones and get 1 blue one. Is that worth it? I don't know. We'll have to see with the rates, but something like that could be cool. Maybe that's one of these.
I'm able to kind of like show the guys that are going to be testing this mode, so they can come in and see what these different areas do. So every one of these will have...
That to me, he just showed up. He just clicked on. I'll go back, even though it's blurred. Let's see if we can get it again.
This mode, so they can come in and...
That looks like a face to me, right? A mouth, eyes, nose. The coloring, I'm not sure. Looks like a jester right now, but that's probably just because of the blur. But I wonder if that's targeted summons. Like, this is normal summons. You go in here, targeted summons. I want this champ. It's a 10x. I can either do it or not do it. It's kind of my guess.
See what these different areas do. So every one of these will have a pop-up. But we're forcing people into like the summoning environment with their crystals.
That looks cool.
All of this is still...
You can see there, if you want to buy shards of some sort, obviously. If they left him like this, I think that's great looking, honestly. I'd be fine with that. Not the whole background, obviously they want to make that a little bit better, but if this is just the shard, period, I'm fine with that. That looks great to me.
Still white box or grey box or whatever.
Also, when I play the beta, which I plan to, I hope I get this many shards. I don't know about you guys. I don't even... What would that be? Would that be 4,885,000 like legendary shards, and then the same for all of them? I'll take that.
Like it's just giving people the flow of how does this game work. None of this is real, okay? None of it's real. This is like a very early mock-up we did of a summon type of animation and how that flow goes through, and then we get a hero and we can see what their kit does in the demo, but I can't click on anything else.
We've seen all this before.
And then I'm basically forcing the user to do 3 summons here to get excited about, okay, this is what summoning feels.
I didn't notice that before. I hope that's just the demo. You don't have to go out every time. And I'm sure they will introduce some type of, I want to summon 1, 3, 10. It'd be nice. That'd be a nice feature. A slider bar, so you can choose how many you want. Like if you want to do groups of 3, groups of 5, whatever, because in Raid and Watcher of Realms, trying to think what other games, it's pretty much 1 or 10. So if they made it adjustable, especially if you knew, if they have a pity time in here, let's say you're 3 away from pity, so you're going to do that at least. If I could slide it, boom, go to 3, because I get that done quickly. Or even, what if you were 15? What if I chose 15 and it's for ancient shards, so I'm running through a bunch of them, boom, go to 15, summon those 15, and then start doing it one by one after that. That would be nice. That'd be a nice feature.
It was like, this is how this type of game works, all of that stuff. Get yourself a Musashi. Very sweet. And then it's like, one more summon. What might I get? It would be amazing if it was a legendary, right?
Oh!
Oh! Anubis!
I wish
Anyway,
I had that kind of,
so it's kind of that good feel of
rate on
grabbing
3
yourself a
ancients in
champ,
any
you kind of
game,
look
right?
around them, see what they're up to, see what they're doing with their kits.
It is interesting as well, like, so he's Brawler, and we saw from Musashi was Slayer, which is obviously similar in the sense that they're both melee, or not melee, both offensive units, like they're not support, you know, they're not going to be defensive, but it does make you think Brawler is usually a bit more defensive than a Slayer. Like a Slayer would be, in my mind, you know, a little squishier. So it is interesting that they've differentiated that it's not just straight, you know, attack, defense, HP like Raid. It's even more nuanced.
It's like, okay, feels good. And now I'm forcing them into the hero screen. And in this screen, again, I can look at my roster. We've seen this stuff before. A little bit tidied up. Only a little bit, but with the shaders and stuff like that. So some of the shaders
looks good.
are now
Looks
starting
better
to
than
come
before
through
even,
better.
I
We're getting
think.
a better visual.
Love
Some of
Anubis,
heroes.
love
We're
the
still
look.
missing VFX,
Love the
all that
skills.
type of stuff. Like,
if you've read over them.
Still got a load to do on this screen. And it's screens that I've shown you before. Love this club. Look at this. With the Hydra heads on it. Very cool. You can actually like zoom in on some of the detail, but it still needs a bit of work on the texturing and the shaders and stuff. But it gives the person who's reviewing the game
Defender.
flavor, at least, of what we're trying to achieve here. Yeah, with the different heroes.
Here's what I kind of was interested to. Disruptor, you see a hand, so that makes you think magic based. But is Disruptor going to be like a type of mage, or Disruptor more of just saying this person is sort of a control champion? That'll be interesting to see too. You know, I don't know what else besides a Disruptor, who obviously is control. If you had a damage dealing mage, what would you call it? They just call it a wizard, maybe? Guess we'll see.
Again, you can kind of zoom in, get a good feel for the graphics quality, all that type of stuff. And the light, I don't know why we've not sorted this yet. The lighting on the back of this setting is just nowhere near amped up enough. So I can't see all of this amazing work that's been done, which is stuff that we have to fix over time. That's all stuff to fix.
Slayer.
But basically, we can go through and see what the different heroes are up to, and you know, see a few of the flourishes that we've actually got in already and stuff like that. And yeah, can go through each one.
I will say real quick too, I hope they keep this level of passion up, because that's very good for an uncommon unit. And I guess they have started to do that again in Raid. If you think about Sylvan Watchers and the Shadowkin, they're uncommon. I don't even remember if they have commons, but I do remember they're uncommons. Those are very good models, but some of the other factions, their commons and uncommons feel very thrown in, very basic. You know, some of them are essentially reskins. Well, I guess even legendaries we essentially see reskins. Nice to see none of that here so far.
We then have kind of like the breakdown of what the different things might be. So I could come in and see what the skills are for each of these different elements. Some of this stuff I'm going to have to censor, so I'm not going to show you this yet, but this will be what gearing does.
It's disappointing. Wanted to see
that.
that.
Type of stuff. And then
let's pause it real quick. See if we can decipher something. So we got maybe 2 big slots here, or it could just be wording, like telling you what something is. I don't know. A small slot there and there, maybe head and a ring. Another medium-sized slot, small or medium slot, kinda. And then possibly 2 small ones. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possible gear slots. Okay, just a guess though.
Then what Awakening does.
Okay, yeah, I assume that just is something with skills. We'll have to wait and see.
And lastly, I guess we'll show you this one. So complete hidden challenges in the world to uncover new mastery. So our mastery system is going to be like challenge based and actually mastering stuff to earn masteries, and then you can equip them to your heroes to empower your heroes in different ways.
So that's what I was talking about earlier when I said the clan boss was Kronos. So let's say you're one of his children, you know, and there's a challenge. I don't know if you'll be able to see it like easily, like, oh, do 100 million damage or do 100,000. Who knows what the scale is for this game, right? But will it be that simple, or will you, let's say you actually do a certain amount of damage to one of them and then you unlock one of these masteries like he's talking about. I wonder if it's going to be something like that, those little connections. Are they going to make it overt, or do we have to figure it out on our own? I'm going to guess it's going to be more of a challenge to figure out based on what they've been talking about and some of the things Simon, aka Hell Hades, talked about in the Deadwood Jedi Fateless podcast. They talked about the tools, like obviously Deadwood has the clan boss calculator. Hades has different tools on his site. The gear optimizer comes to mind, and the way they were talking about, they didn't directly say they weren't going to have things like that, but they were talking about too how you had to figure stuff out. And then they actually talked about, I never called these, but I do remember the old school game hotlines you could call to like get tips. But I did buy books back in the day. But they did talk about how much they liked figuring it out, so it makes me feel like these will be more hidden and not as overt, but we'll see. See what the feedback is from the beta. You never know. If enough people complain, they still have to make money, so it might be more direct. Oh, and the masteries. Well, I'll let him speak for a second and then pause it again.
So it's going to be a fun kind of like go out and find masteries. Yeah, and it might be you hit a certain enemy for so much damage and it unlocks a damage mastery that all of your heroes could equip from that moment on. And stuff like that. So our mastery system is going to be really fun, actually.
So yeah, essentially what I said, but didn't really say if you would know it ahead of time. You just do it and then you get it. But I wonder. So like I talked about before, Marvel Strike Force, there's sort of a system in that where you get pieces of, not gear, but collectibles from different places in the game, and then you get a permanent buff, like plus 150 physical damage or something like that, let's say. But those are permanent and they're account wide. I wonder here if you compare it to Raid. Like Raid, you can't have all masteries all the time, right? You have to choose. So are they going to do something like that? Because if you get an attack mastery and it affects everything account wide instead of just the individual champion, how is that limited? Can I just keep getting more? Is that sort of a way they're going to have it? So if you can figure out these masteries as a free to play, that'll allow you to keep up with the spenders. I mean, it would seem, I don't know, because if you limit it as well, that would seem like more of an even playing field. I guess we'll have to wait and see though, but that's interesting. The sort of farming these, got to figure it out and then you get it.
But again, once we've done that, you can then come back out, and then the user who is like analyzing our build has basically got free reign to then click into anything they want. So they can look at the event screen and be like, okay, what have Godforge got planned for events? So world bosses to earn powerful new gods, slay the tarnished enemies of legend to earn powerful rewards. It's all very top level stuff, right?
I will say this too, like it says, earn new gods. You gotta assume that's kind of like a fragment fusion event in Raid. I hope whatever system they come up with is better than Raid system for leftover shards. Like, it just feels so bad right now when you have like 25 extra shards of, say, like an epic, and it gets you almost nothing. Like, what's the point? Like, even if you didn't try to get it, you were doing some other event and you just happened to get it, it feels not great. So I hope there's a better system for whatever kind of leftover fusion type currency you have than something like Raid. Because I mean, I don't want to say you should be able to get 90% done and save those and then go to the next event and easily finish, say, the next event. But if you halfway completed, I don't know, a few different events just because you're a busy person and have time, if you knew that went towards a system where you could get a great hero, let's say, 6 events half finished, and you could get a legendary, that's better than the system in Raid right now by far.
Right? We're just giving people a flavour of what different things could be. Battle against your biggest rivals in challenging trials to earn powerful rewards. Very vague. Climb the Temple of Ishtar for fame and glory for a tournament. What else we got here? Heroes will just take us into this screen. Index. Over 250 heroes from Myth and Legend. 10 different factions. What else have we got? Missions. So again, if you played this type of game before, you understand what we're trying to do. But missions will introduce new players to the genre and drive experienced players to the best parts of the game. So it's kind of helping players understand the game. Carefully crafted onboarding experience to maximize understanding and retention, and then the ability to...
I assume that'll actually be a big part of the beta. They'll probably be looking for feedback on that, because that's, the intro to the game. How well is this pulling people in?
And amazing heroes over longer mission lines. So that's what we're aiming to do with missions. And then with quests, daily quests to bring players back, give them something to look forward to every day. Quests will be a delicate balance between variety and consistency to make players feel excited to log in.
That's interesting there. It says daily quests. I know that's a placeholder, but it doesn't say anything there about what he's talked about before, where they would like a catch-up mechanic if you were the type of person, that does not play daily, which I like. I hope they do have that, because as much as I like these games, sometimes you just want to break, man. Even though you love the game, you're like, I just don't want to do that today. I want to be outside, or I want to go do this, and I don't want to be playing on my phone. So I hope they keep that intact.
Or log on. And yes, we do have a shop for anyone who wants this to purely be a completely free-to-play game. It's not. We do have a shop.
Gotta make money.
So dynamic offers based on spending patterns, data-driven pricing and layout. It's all stuff.
I'm okay with the data-driven pricing. I'm not a big fan of the dynamic offers. Like, just give everyone the same deal and have different tiers. Just, low, medium, high spender. Just do that. I like that better.
Stuff to try and entice you to buy a pack. Let's be honest. And then lastly, the one here that I've not done yet, Clan Hall. Join forces with other players to defeat cooperative bosses and challenges for a chance at some of the best loot in the game. Gather together with other clans to form larger player clusters. There's obviously a ton more stuff in our...
I would hope they have more on their clan than even Raid has right now. Like, there's some stuff in clan that who cares about it, right? I would like something where there's almost a statue or an idol part of the clan, and let's say you reach certain milestones, power levels, or certain achievements, not necessarily based on power, but doing things in the game, it changes that. That would be kind of a cool idea, and then that's you can adjust that, and maybe that idol or statue goes on, let's say, a flag for your clan. That would be cool.
Roadmap that you don't see here around what some of the different game modes will be, how they're going to look and feel. But really what we needed was something that a company that's looking to part with serious amounts of cash and invest in something like Fateless would basically be able to then get a feel of the game, a feel for what we're trying to achieve, and then we send alongside this like a timeline of when we're looking to get stuff done. So this is Demo 2.0. It's really just a build on top of what we'd already done at Gamescom, and I guess it helps us towards a roadmap for our next massive milestone, which starts on Monday.
So I would say, pay attention that they're massive amounts of cash. Temper your expectations. Does look good. Hopeful for the future, but massive amounts of cash means lots of work still to be done.
What things are we prioritizing to get into the beta so that you guys can start to actually experience gameplay rather than just see cool visuals. So that's going to be it for today. Let me know, is it what you were expecting? And is there anything that's caught your eye there that you're like, damn, that looks...
So, not a ton new. Some new stuff, obviously some shard stuff, some basics of pulling. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of some of my ideas down below. And this has been HLock. All right, bye.